How you doing? And welcome again to another installment of Objectively Biased with me, your host, the Objective One, Steve Fogmig. And today we're going to discuss the NFL. It's NFL All Access. Training camps are opening. Julio Jones already got hurt. People are getting ready for fantasy football. Ryan Fitzpatrick just got signed. Brandon Marshall value up. So I'm going to open up with basically my predictions. What I see going forward. Now that the dust has finally settled, camp is open, and everybody's getting ready to put it together and practice for the season. So without further ado, let's begin, shall we? Today we're going to discuss the AFC East and the NFC East and where I believe they're going to finish. Now, in the AFC East, I'm basically looking at it as the Patriots finishing first, the Dolphins second, the Bills and the Jets are going to be fighting for third and fourth. And I know before everybody goes crazy, especially Jet fans, gangrene, why aren't you putting the Jets in second? They did well last season, right? They finished 10-6. They were in second place in that division, missed the playoffs. A lot of promise. Well, there's a couple of things that perturb me with the Jets. Number one, strength of schedule. If you look at it, the AFC East this year, they're going to be playing the NFC West and the AFC North. Those are two strong divisions. Very strong divisions. So, strength of schedule becomes an issue. Number two, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Listen, Ryan Fitzpatrick had the season of his career last season. And yet, when you looked at his overall rankings, and I'm talking passer rating, quarterback percentage, QBR, touchdown to interception ratio, and you total all that up, he was still only one of the bottom 20 quarterbacks in the NFL. And that was with Brandon Marshall. Now granted, you've added Matt Forte, you still got a solid defense, you got a healthy Eric Decker. But the reality is, I don't expect much from Fitzpatrick. I think last year was something special. That was great. He performed well. But the reality is, they've got good wide receivers, good running back, good defense. They're a good team, but they're only going to go as far as Ryan Fitzpatrick can take them. And guess what? Fitzpatrick in 11 seasons has never been to the playoffs. He doesn't get teams there. He's just not that quarterback. And given the strength of schedule, I'd say 6-10, 7-9 is more than likely for the Jets. Now the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are going to, again, it's a quarterback-driven league, and the Bills are going to be driven by their quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. And while Tyrod Taylor had an exceptional season, and his numbers would boast him to be in the top 10 of NFL quarterbacks for last season, he's got some handicaps. He's not really good at the short to intermediate passes. He ranked respectively 24th and 39th in passing overall there. Very good with the deep passes, and he's got very good deep threat wide receivers. Doesn't have any short guys that can run those intermediate routes. And he's not a good thrower at those intermediate routes. So while Tyrod Taylor has shown promise, his development is going to be based on the tools that he has around him. He's got LaShawn McCoy at the running back position, and LaShawn McCoy is a very good running back. But Buffalo's rushing offense wasn't that great. And they didn't do much to improve it. So I'm going to have to say that Buffalo is probably going to be a 7-9, 8-8 finish again. Strength of schedule is going to be a problem there as well. Health is going to be a problem. We really don't know if Shady's going to make it through the entire season. What the deal is with Sammy Watkins. Can he actually put it all together and stay healthy for an entire season? So unfortunately, this is going to be a division that cannibalizes itself. It's going to be very close. And like I said, the Jets looking at 6-10, 7-9. The Bills, I'm looking at 7-9, maybe 8-8. So now we go to the Miami Dolphins. And yes, the Miami Dolphins finished dead last season. They also struggled mightily because they had zero identity. The coaching staff was in disarray. Philbin didn't know whether he was going left or right, up or down. That team was just shot completely. Bring in Adam Gase. Yes, a guy who revived Chicago. If you look at the Bears offense the last 3 seasons while he was the offensive coordinator, look at the resurgence of Matt Forte's career and the consistency that Forte delivered. Adam Gase is going to bring some real good offensive game plan in there, and Ryan Tannehill is finally going to get the opportunity to showcase what he really has. There's a lot of doubters out there on Tannehill and the Dolphins. I'm not one of them. I believe in Tannehill, and I believe if you've got the right players around him, in this particular case, you've brought on Arian Foster, you've got Jay Ajayi, you've got Jordan Cameron, you've got Jarvis Landry, you've got a very good offensive line. You just picked up Laramie Tunsil in the draft, who's going to be an outstanding addition to protecting Tannehill's blind side and keeping him upright. Your defense only got better by adding the likes of linebacker Kiko Alonso and cornerback Byron Maxwell. Listen, with Tom Brady being out the first 4 games, the additions that they've got, Miami stands a legitimate shot at competing for that division. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they can definitely compete for that division and give New England a run for their money. Yes, they're implementing a new offensive system, but they've got the good pieces around, they've got a good coach, and they've got a solid quarterback. This team can definitely make a run for the playoffs this season. Don't be shocked if Miami goes 9-7 or 10-6. I'm not. I'm picking them to. Now, on to the New England Patriots. Yes, they're going to win the division again. Yes, they're not going to have Tom Brady for the first 4 games, but the toughest competition they're going to face, Arizona Cardinals. I see New England going 3-1 and probably finishing the season 11-5 or 12-4. They got a real benefit off the schedule because the tough games that they've got to play when Brady comes back, Seattle, Cincinnati, Houston, all playoff teams, 2 division winners, they get them in New England. And the rest of the schedule is kind of weak after that. So, can they run the table in the East? They can. I figure they may lose 1 or 2 games, along with losing Arizona. But realistically, they've got the offensive firepower. They added Martellus Bennett to go with Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski. Dion Lewis is coming back. Now, he's going to be key in how that running game goes because he was very effective running the ball, but he was extremely effective in the passing game, especially screens and the short passes. So, New England, my favorite to win that division. New England is my favorite to, well, make it to the Super Bowl. I think they've got the team and the pieces to do it. And that's the AFC East for you. All right, now on to the NFC East. My division, my team, the Eagles. No. And for Eagles fans, no. We're not winning anything. I'm looking at that division, and honestly, I'm going to say the Cowboys win it. The Giants finish in second, with Philly in third and Washington in fourth. Now, again, criteria I looked at: strength of schedule, the additions that they've got on the teams, the way these players have performed over the last 2 seasons leading into this season. So why Washington fourth? They won the division last year, right? At 9-7, showed promise. Well, yes, they did, but they lost Alfred Morris. I don't believe in any of the running backs that they've got right now. So the running game, in my opinion, is going to take a hit. Kirk Cousins. What is Kirk Cousins? I don't know. He was good last season. He definitely was. But he relied heavily on the tight ends. In this case, Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed's got to stay healthy. If Jordan Reed can stay healthy, he's one of the 5 best tight ends in the game. But then you're relying on Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon. Now, what do these guys have left? Your defense was mediocre. I think Washington benefited off of the defensive failures of the New York Giants and the injury-plagued Dallas Cowboys, and therefore were capable of winning the division. This team 2 years ago was a 4-12 team. I'm not going to say they're going to be 4-12 again this season, but 5-11, well, it's not out of the realm. Strength of schedule, they're looking at the AFC North and the NFC North. Yeah, it's not going to be a cupcake walk. So Washington, I have them finishing last. Philadelphia, finishing third. I gotta say that on both sides of the ball, Philadelphia is probably the most well-rounded team in the NFC. I think they've got the best pieces on collectively on the defensive side and the offensive side of the ball than any other team. But you're implementing a new defense. You're implementing a new offense. You've got an entirely new coaching staff. You brought in new players. You got rid of guys that were there just for 1 year. So there's going to be a lot of chemistry issues with this team. Now, I like Jordan Matthews, I like Zach Ertz, but your running game is going to be predicated on the performance of Ryan Matthews, a guy who has a fumble history and an injury history. Defensively, listen, I think they made very good pickups defensively. They solidified that safety position. You add McLeod to go with Michael Jenkins. I love what they did defensively, and this is going to be a good defensive team. They're going to be competitive. They're just not going to be over the top. Sam Bradford is an average quarterback. And based on his performance last season, I do see promise. But again, it's a new offense, and if we haven't seen it enough in the NFL, quarterbacks struggle when they begin a new offense. There's ups and downs. There's going to be those highs and lows, and Philadelphia is going to experience those highs and lows, as is Sam Bradford. So I don't expect much from Philadelphia other than maybe a 7-9 season. The New York Giants. Yes, I'm picking them to finish second. Now, there's a lot of experts out there that believe the Giants will finish first. I don't. Here's why. I love the moves they made defensively. Talk about the money all you want. If you're talking about the money, you're a straight hater. Because there's a lot of guys that got overpaid. It's the nature of free agency and the cash surplus that actually was available in the NFL this season. But they addressed needs on the defensive side of the ball. Chemistry becomes a part of that again. You got about 4 new pieces on there that are going to be on your starting roster that you're going to have to intertwine into that defense. Offensively, look, Eli Manning is an outstanding quarterback, one of the 15 best in the league, but he's getting older. I like the pieces that you've added there, especially with Sterling Shepard. I think this kid is the real deal. I think he might be better than Odell. He runs routes better than Odell, so he's got a leg up on him there. But you've got Beckham Jr., you've got Sterling Shepard. You're going to have a more direct running game. It's not going to be this running back by committee. They've already said they're going to commit to Rashard Jennings. You've got Shane Vereen, who's an extremely versatile running back. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants won the division. I just don't think the fixes that they made in the offseason are going to correct the problem in an immediate fashion. It's going to take time like anything else. They're going to have to build that chemistry. Chemistry is a word you're hearing a lot, but it's going to be important with the new pieces that have been put in. So the Giants, I can see them going 9-7. I've got them finishing 8-8. And then we come to the Dallas Cowboys. Let me preface this by saying Dallas's success is going to be predicated on the ability of Tony Romo to stay upright. Dallas has a great run blocking offense. Man, they suck protecting Romo. Des Bryant has to stay healthy. They've got Alfred Morris. They draft Ezekiel Elliott. I like the pieces that they've got there. This Cowboys defense wasn't a slouch defense. Listen, they struggled last year because, well, they had no offense. They had no choice but to be on the field. This is a team that 2014, they went 12-4. Their failures last season were due to injuries, not poor performance. And I believe that fully healthy, this Dallas Cowboy team has no problem winning this division. I think 11-5, 9-6 is a realistic finish for them. Again, it sucks that you got to sit here and say, well, can Romo stay healthy? I believe he can. I believe he'll be able to. He had a long offseason because of the injury. And I believe Tony Romo can stay healthy. I believe Des Bryant will be healthy. I believe they'll figure out a way to incorporate Ezekiel Elliott and Alfred Morris into this offense behind that nice offensive line that they got there. And I think Dallas is going to come out on top in that division. As far as the playoffs are concerned, well, NFC East, one and done. And those are my predictions on the AFC East, NFC East. Stay tuned. I will be doing the AFC South and the NFC South next. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Stephen Fogmeg. Follow me on Instagram at S_Fogmeg and on Twitter at S Fogmeg. Thank you for watching and enjoy.